Hello all, welcome to lesson number 4. This lesson we will start to study the third rank defense and we'll start by the end of the technique. So we reach this position. The third rank defense is characterized by having the rook from the defense perspective on the third rank, cutting the enemy king away from entering the nearest ranks. Also, our queen is on the second rank from the defense perspective and is 3 squares away from the border. The rook is 2 squares away from the border, and then the kings are facing each other with also 2 squares away between them. And why to move? Why to move? It's very important to remember that this is the key position we want to achieve when we try to break the third rank defense. And now it's the moment to get away from the second rank from the defense perspective and play f4, queen f4. Why? Because this will cut the retreat from the king anywhere he goes. So now it's black to move, and black is in Zugzwang. I like to draw this arrow so you can see a side Z. Of course, it's a Zugzwang from Zorro. And now it's black to move. So first thing to remember, it's the rook can't move because any way the rook goes, we will grab the rook. Let's start by the rank. Let's see what happens on the rank. Of course, it can't go directly to any of these places because our pieces will take directly the rook. So the rook basically has this position, but we easily catch the rook, so this is not possible. Or go to the other side and again check, and then we move and catch the rook again. So the rook can stay on the same rank. Let's see what happens if it goes staying on the same file. Of course, it can't go here and it can't go here, so only five squares. Let's see the white square. Then we move the king to attack the rook. Any of these places the rook moves, we will attack the rook. And basically, we are attacking the rook and forcing checkmate. So there's nothing black can do because, for example, if it moves the king, I will just take the rook. And if the king goes to the other side, even better, checkmate in one. So the rook needs to move again, but we have a checkmate to deliver. So let's see, for example, if the rook goes here with the intention of protecting the king in e8, but once again we have a checkmate. So not a good solution. Any other place the rook goes, we simply give checkmate unless it does something just to waste more time and we grab it directly. For example, if it goes here, I don't even need to take the rook, I'll give a checkmate directly. So the same goes for the other side. So the two light squares near the king, it's the king that it's going to attack the rook. And now again, same situation. We are attacking the rook and at the same time threatening to give checkmate. So if the king moves, it's easy peasy. And if the rook moves, I don't know, even viable square to play it, like for example, it's checkmate. So the rook can stay near the king. So the other possibilities are the three down here. Let's see, for example, the dark square. The dark square, it's very easy. It's a simple fork and we grab the rook. So also not possible, so the rook needs to go to a light square. Any of these light squares, we give a check in the side with our queen. What is the idea? It's from here, the queen has very important access to key squares. So check, the king can go for this side, for example here, and then check and we grab the rook, or can go for these two squares diagonally. But again, no luck because we give a check and fork the rook. So the rook can't move. We are in the Zugzwang position for black, and the rook can't move. So let's see what can the king do. If the king moves for this file, we simply check and fork the rook, so also not possible. So we reach the situation where the king has just two escapes, two good escapes. Uh, in this lesson, we want to analyze the two, and I explain now the motive. We just analyze this one. This is the move that the engine will play. So normally, if you study against a computer, this is the move the computer will answer. And so we will see in this lesson how to break this one. But the best that I recommend if you are playing the rook side is going sideways. I will call this the human escape, and I will cover it in my next lesson because the technique is harder, not because it's the longest. It's not the longest. The longest is the engine move, but it's the hardest for the queen side to find the moves for the solution. So this is the move that places more practical problems for the attacking side. So if you are defending, remember this one. Uh, okay, let's move on and study the engine escape. The engine escape, we will give a check on the diagonal and force the king to move. Of course, if the king goes far away, like for example here, we just give a check and fork the rook, so this is not possible. And if the king goes back to the same original position, we simply can pin the rook and very easy win the rook again. So coming back here, the king only has two moves. Let's start by this one. This is also the engine move, and against this one we give a check. So basically we came check, check. We are going around, let's say, around the rook. Check, and now of course the king needs to move. If the king moves, I'll catch the rook, so the rook needs to protect, and then I give another check. The king only has two possibilities, so basically I came around the rook to reach this break. If the king goes here, this is also the engine move. We just move the king, our king, to this position, and if you remember well, this is the Near-Philidor position that we studied in lesson number 3, and we already know how to break it, so I will not cover it here in this lesson. If you want to review it, just go back and review lesson number 3. So coming back here, the only practical possibility alternative is this one. Of course, here it goes. You need to decide if you want to force white to play the next interesting move, or if you want to play the longest move and force white to prove that knows how to play the Near-Philidor position and so on. Probably I will recommend to go here, like the computer. But against the other defense, the key move is to play the king to e6. e6. This is important because we are cutting moves for the king. So if the king moves, the only possible move is checkmate, and forces black to move the rook, and it will lose the rook. Let's start by the simple ones. So if it moves here, then it's even easier because we will give checkmate. If the king goes to the other side, it's an easier checkmate again. So the rook can't move here. Of course, it can't move for any of these sides. If it goes back here, we have a fork. If it goes a bit down, we have again another fork. And if it comes the bottom, it won't be hard to find the solution. Check. Now, probably it's important to understand that when the rook is on the distance defense, like this one, it's important to remember the diagonals next to the rook. The technique we are going to apply, because we don't have a direct fork, is to keep our queen checking the enemy king and staying on the adjacent diagonal to the rook. So check. Now the king moves. For example, over here, we give another check, staying on the same parallel diagonal. Now the king moves, check, and we reach a position to fork the king. Let's see this a bit slower. Check. If the king goes this side, I have a checkmate, so it can't go there. If it goes to any of this, if it goes this way, then I give a check. The king needs to go up, and I will grab the rook with a pin, so also not possible. So that's why the only possible move for the king is to stay here, and we stay with another check in the same diagonal. Check. Yeah, again, if the king moves down, I simply check and use this square to pin the king. Let's see an example. Let's see an example. Check, the king moves, and then I grab it with this fork. So basically, the king is not able to protect the rook, so I will catch the rook anyways. So the rook can't go stay on the same file. Let's see the row. Okay, here I can't because my queen is controlling it. Here we are also controlling. So let's see this example. Here it's very simple, checkmate. If it stays here, I'll give a check over here. If the rook moves sideways, I pin the rook. If the king moves, then it's very easy, check. And if the rook protects, it's a checkmate. If the rook stays, like for example over there, I can simply take the rook. So it's not possible also. So if the rook goes here, it's a simple check and grab the rook. And finally, if the rook goes farther away, I simply check our king. If it goes here, checkmate. If it comes to this side, I'll give a check and then grab the rook. So basically on this position, black goes sideways and I'll win with this move, or black goes back and I reach the Near-Philidor position. So let's go back just a little bit, because we have just one simple more technique to see. If here black tries to escape with this move, we will, of course, there are several techniques, and probably I will lose one or two moves, but it's easier to remember that I can transform this in the previous move by the king, check. If the rook intercepts, check, the king moves, and checkmate will be unavoidable. So the king needs to go back, and then we simply give another check and we reach the same situation where black needs to escape like this. So in resume, let's go back here. In resume, we have learned how to break the engine defense. So we place black in Zugzwang, the rook can't move, otherwise I'll catch the rook, so the king has two escapes. In this lesson we learn how to break the engine escape. Check, the rook goes here, check, the rook protects, check. If the king goes here, the technique is to move the king this side and the rook can't escape. And if the king goes to behind the rook, then we enter the Near-Philidor position. Okay, we have finished the lesson. I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope you keep studying this endgame. This is an important endgame that could give you some points on the practical play. Okay, see you again on next lesson and enjoy.